The Kansas City Royals traveled to the Pacific Northwest to take on the Seattle Mariners at Safeco Field. Mariners had their lefty Big Maple on the hill, making his 28th start. He's 15-9 with a 3.24 ERA. And in the top half of the first inning, Craig Gentry gets things started with a single over the head of the second baseman, and then he would proceed to go and swipe second base. Zunino loses the ball on the transfer, so it's an easy stolen base. And then Mike Moustakas, recently off the DL, rips a ball into the right center field gap. It gets up against the wall. Gentry easily scores. Moustakas has himself an RBI double, and the Royals have a 1-0 lead. Danny Duffy on the hill for the Royals. Lefty, 27th start of the year. He got through the first inning unscathed, but in the bottom of the second, he had a slider that just hung a little bit too far over the plate, and Mike Zunino sent it into the upper deck for a solo shot. Ties the game at 1 here in Seattle. Move things on to the top of the third now. Craig Gentry back at the dish, and he's going to hit a ball past the second baseman yet again for a base knock. He would proceed to go and swipe second base. This time there's a throw down, but it's a high throw. And then Moustakas would strike out, but Jorge Soler with a blast to left field. It's going to carry over the fence for a 2-run shot. Jorge Soler's team-leading 22nd home run of the season makes it a 3-1 Royals lead. They're back on top. Bottom of the fourth now, Jean Segura hits one back to Duffy, fields it, fires over to first, pulls Dozier off the bag, so Segura reaches first on an error, then tries to steal second, and he is gunned down by an absolute rocket from Salvador Perez, so it's 1 down now. Mitch Haniger chops one over to first, Dozier steps in the bag, that's 2 down, and then Zunino goes down swinging on a changeup, and it's still a 3-1 game. Top of the 7th for the Mariners, they bring on Ryan Madson, and he's facing Salvador Perez, who gets a pitch right down the middle of the plate, flips his bat and everything, an absolute moonshot for Salvador Perez. A solo shot makes it a 4-1 game now. 3-run lead for the Royals. Move things on to the bottom of the 7th, where Jose Torres comes on for the Royals, and a similar situation happened. 1 out. And Mike Zunino is going to hit his second home run of the game. This one just barely stays fair as it hits off the foul pole. A solo shot, his 19th and 20th home runs in this game. It's now a 2-run game, 4-2. It would stay that score heading into the bottom of the 9th, where Kelvin Herrera, facing Jean Segura, tries the bunt, and then the next pitch says, maybe I should swing, and it turned out to be a pretty good decision as he hits a solo shot over the left field fence. And it's now a 1-run game. 4-3 is the score. Next batter up was Mitch Haniger, a 2-1 count to him, and he's doubling into the right center field gap. It's going to get up against the wall. Gentry gets to it rather quickly, but Haniger does have that stand-up double. So the tying run is on second base with nobody out. Zunino pops one up into the infield. Herrera calls off the rest of the infield, almost misplays it, but he does catch it. And then Kyle Seager draws a 4-pitch walk. So first and second, 1 out, brings up Ryan Healy, who grounds a ball over to third. Moustakas goes to second. He goes to first with it, and it's a game-ending 5-4-3 double play. The Royals get the victory in this one over the Mariners. Some 9th inning dramatics, as Kelvin Herrera made it a bit scary for the Royals, but they do get the win nonetheless. As the Royals are now 67-69 on the year, and the Mariners drop to 75-61. Player of the game honors go to Craig Gentry. He had 3 singles on the day, swiped 3 bags as well, and scored twice. Salvador Perez had a solo shot. Jorge Soler's only hit was a 2-run blast. Danny Duffy gets the win. James Paxton gets the loss, and Kelvin Herrera gets his 39th save of the season. With that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of Kansas City Royals Baseball. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Welcome to the Conscious Club.